Welcome in, everybody. Forget what you think you know about justice. Welcome to the Virtual Juror, where snark is reality, but evidence is royalty. Where at first we look at the FACS, or facts and conjecture shared, before we get into the real stuff. The fifth witness of the day was Detective Craig Isom, retired from Tallahassee Police Department. A detective is like the episode's narrator, revealing all the juicy details from the investigation. He explains how they tracked a suspicious green Prius, the real star of the show apparently, using surveillance footage and SunPass records. This led them to the alleged hitman, and then, in a dramatic twist, back to the Adelson family through a third party. Here's how it was all presented in court. But first, the defense and the prosecution debated the admissibility of various emails and documents as evidence, with the defense frequently raising objections based on lack of foundation, relevance, and hearsay. The state's theory is that Donna Adelson had a strong animus towards Dan Markel and his family, which is a fancy way of saying she didn't like him at all. The prosecution argued that this animus served as a motive for the unaliving, citing emails that show her distaste for Dan and his parents and her attempts to control her daughter's life, including relocation and relationships. The emails also discuss Wendy Adelson's desire to relocate to South Florida with her children, a move that Dan Markel opposed. The prosecution highlights emails in which Donna suggests using tactics like a bribe of $1 million to get Dan to agree to the relocation. The financial benefits of Dan Markel's death, including life insurance policy and survivor benefits, were also mentioned. Finally, Detective Isom was able to testify. He described how he interviewed Wendy shortly after the shooting. He alluded to the contentious nature of the Markels' divorce and relocation disputes between Dan and Wendy. He goes on to describe, and the court publishes surveillance video from a gym and a city bus, showing a suspicious green Prius that followed Dan Markel's car on the day of the unaliving. The investigation tracked the Prius through its SunPass transponder to a rental company in Miami called Save Gas, which led them to the individuals who rented the car, Luis Rivera and Sigfredo Garcia. The detective then explained that the investigation linked the suspects to the Adelson family through Catherine Katie Magbanoa, who was the mother of Sigfredo Garcia's children and also was in a relationship with Charlie Adelson. The detective completed his testimony by discussing his attempt to get employment records for Magbanoa from the Adelson Institute, which is a dental practice that used to be owned by Harvey and Charlie Adelson. The records only showed checks signed by Donna Adelson, with no information on job responsibilities or a work schedule. Oh, and let's not forget that the other employees there weren't really sure who or what she did anyway. Well, that's all we have for this witness. So as always, love your family, love your pets, love your neighbors, and we'll see you next time.